Today's episode is all about thinking differently. And to kick things off, I thought it would be fun to bring a guest here on the show. Put your hands together for my son, Luke.
Hello.
Luke here and I have figured out from the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, we could do it for real. They're so much cuter when they're small, aren't they? They're a lot easier to manage too. I've also, in the process of all this, found out one of his tickling spots, which is right there as well. So that is my son, Luke, and without any further ado, Luke, come on over. You ready to start the episode?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode here on the CTC channel. It stands for Create, Transform, and Connect. My name is Krendl. I'm excited you're here for this episode on thinking differently. So to kick things off, I'd like to start with the man himself, Albert Einstein, a gentleman definitely known for thinking differently. One of his main philosophies is that we can't solve problems using the same thinking that we use to create the problem. In other words, you have to think different in order to come up with the proper solution. Easier said than done, am I right? Hopefully though, through this episode, we're going to give you some tips and strategies though on how to basically build that muscle of creativity and thinking differently. Now, as a magician, this is a very in-depth topic for me. A magician's job is to challenge our assumptions on how the world works. So much so that we can't literally believe our eyes when we do something in front of you, such as levitate a woman or make someone vanish and reappear somewhere else. But I digress. I first want to kind of point out and wrap your brain around this idea, and it was a study by a gentleman by the name of George Land. In 1968, he did this study on creativity. This research was ultimately used for NASA to find creative engineers and astronauts for people that could think outside the box to solve problems. The information he found is amazing, so let me show it to you. There were 1,600 children, ages 5, that took this creativity test. 98% of them, in essence, passed. They showed their ability to be creative. 98% of them. Then, when they were tested again on the same stuff at age 10, it dropped to only 30%. Only 30% of the kids aged 10 fell into that creative category. Then they tested again at age 15. So at 15 years of age, it came out at 12% were creative out of the bunch. And then came adulthood. Now this was a different batch in general. They tested 280,000 adults, ages 25 and older, the same type of creativity test, and only 2% of them passed this creativity test. There are two fundamental things I want to share with you before I give you these tips and strategies. One, the saying or myth, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I heard that growing up all the time. And we may feel like that at times because why is it that a 5-year-old can take an iPad and just figure it out in 15 minutes, and then as an adult, we have to go to the 5-year-old to have them fix it for us? That's like a thing that happens, right? So why is that? And it goes back to where they are in their creative and imaginative state versus where we are. But that doesn't mean we can't learn or we can't evolve. There's a word known as neuroplasticity, which refers to the brain's ability to change or rewire itself when it is forced into adaptation. When it has to change, it will. And it forms different paths in our brain, allowing us to think differently. In other words, it is factually proven that we are continually learning and evolving through our entire life. You can learn and change and think differently. It's just a practice you have to do. Second, which also tips into an actual strategy or tip of how to think differently. It's called CBT. Stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. It is a standard form of practice used by a lot of therapists. And I'm not going to get into the weeds on how to do it and what it's all about, because that's not what this episode is. But to give you a bird's eye view of it, it's this. It's positive talk. It's slow and incremental, but it can really change your disposition in life. So it's taking self-negative talk that either happens out loud or internally and gives you different phrases to use. It slowly evolves you in the mix. It's very strong and very powerful. I suggest you look it up and look at it if you're interested. Now to the rest of the list of tips and strategies. Let's do the fun and easy ones, which are watch a movie. How easy is that? Reading a book. You read the author's words, you are forced in your mind to create that vision or that picture. Playing video games is factually and scientifically backed to benefit you. There's a lot of actual benefits for it, but one of them is in getting you to think differently. The disclaimer to those is everything's done in moderation. Fair enough. Exercise is another great one. Doing 20 minutes of cardio really just wakes up your brain and makes you feel loose and ready to think again. These kind of strategies, the way that you use them is watch the movie, read the book, do the exercise, play the video game, and then go back to your problem or the routine or the situation that you're trying to question to change. That's how these go hand in hand, is that you do an activity like that and then you hit the hard part, the thinking part. You're trying to inspire yourself to think differently. Learn a new language is proven to do this. Learn a musical instrument or a new musical instrument. And the last one I'll give you, because there's many more obviously, but this one is my personal favorite, which is philosophy. Reading audiobooks, watching lectures, listening to lectures, whatever, on just philosophical concepts. The Greeks, the ancient Greek philosophers are awesome. Of course they are. Our Western philosophy, our civilization is kind of founded on their belief system. There's modern philosophers too that expand that information. But here's why it's so good, is it challenges our belief systems. It makes you question things and turn things upside down on their head. Things that you didn't think of, it's already in writing by these philosophers, and they give you insight to it. It's a phenomenal and great way. Plus, it makes you far more interesting to talk to. I hate small talk. I'd much rather know your belief system and why you believe this a certain way, and because maybe your thoughts will inspire mine or change my opinion or vice versa. That's the joy of talking about philosophy. Philosophy also points out the things that we're stuck on, because there's a lot of things that we do in our lives that we don't know why we do it. It's just so ingrained to us. Our parents did it, so we do it. And so we pass it on to our kids, and so on and so forth. Philosophy makes you kind of stop and put the brakes on and then question it. Best way to think differently. All right, gang. Well, hopefully we've given you some good content as far as just some tips and strategies, motivate you a bit, inspire you to think differently. So before we get to the final and last piece, which I'm excited to do, take the time, hit the like button. We need your help. Please hit the like button. Click on the subscribe button. That way you're notified too. You can hit the bell on it, I believe. And so basically what it is every week we're going to push out a new episode just like you're seeing. You always give one action step that we ask of you through our episodes. This one is just about commenting in the space below. So in the comments below, please share with us an example of thinking differently. Share a problem that existed and how they came up with a different solution to solve the problem. That inspires all of us. And I dare you to share your own problem. Share a problem that you're faced with that you just can't figure out the solution to, and you need some help and inspiration. We'd love to help you. Myself, and I'm sure everyone watching as well, because that's what this community is about. Put in the comments. Give us a challenge. Let's see if we can help each other out. All right. Let's get to the fun part. Let's perform. Let's do some magic for you guys. I picked a routine. I kind of put a couple routines together for a magic routine for you, and it's because it's all about thinking differently. So there's a little disclaimer to it. This is designed for the episode. So I want to challenge you a bit. I'm asking you to look at this and try to figure it out for yourself. This is a rhetorical question as an exercise for yourself. I don't need to hear it. just to yourself. Use it as a creative, constructive exercise of this plot. I've got 4 coins. My goal is to move these coins around on the table without you seeing it. I will do this with no camera tricks. It'll just be one shot, uncut, the whole time for you to look at and experience. And then in your mind, just think about, well, if I were doing it, how could I do it? It's a great exercise for you in thinking differently. Enjoy the piece. Well, I hope you enjoyed the magic, guys. That is my time. Thanks for hanging with me this whole time. It means so much to me. I'm so passionate about putting out these episodes, and I hope this continues to grow. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do me a favor, take this video and share it with just one person. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for your time and attention. We'll see you next week.